Hey guys, and welcome to Arcane Assist. This week we have a very special guest from the Canadian WTC team, Chris Orr.
Hi there.
Chris, why don't you tell the folks at home about yourself, what you do, what you're playing today, your history with the game a little bit. Just introduce yourself.
So I'm a member of one of the Canadian WTC teams. I was also a member of the Canadian WTC Council, which is the council that decides who gets to go to the World Team Championships. I am a major Legion player predominantly. I do own other factions and play them occasionally, but in most tournaments you'll find me playing Legion. I've been playing for a number of years now, probably 4 or 5. I have qualified for War Machine Weekend 4 times now, which I believe is tied for the most Canadian ever. And this year I'm bringing Lylyth1 and Animag to the WTC.
Lylyth1, bit of a spicy choice. Why don't you let's just dive right into that list. Tell us about it.
So it's Lylyth1 in the Children of the Dragon theme. I have, for my battle group, is Azrael and Zuriel with a Nephilim Bolt Thrower. I have a Succubus, 2 units of Raptors, a Nissa and Kralix, 3 Shepherds, a Spell Martyr, and I believe that's and a unit of Ice Witches.
Nice. Now, I believe you were telling me earlier that you built this list for a very specific purpose. And could you tell us a little bit about what the list is supposed to do and how it works and what your goal with it is?
So the list actually came out of a discussion with Jake Van Meter. At TGX, he was saying that a local of his had played Lylyth1 with double Raptors into his into his Callus 1 Primal Terrors, and then it was basically an auto win. Which is what sort of intrigued me to look at the list. I was having trouble finding a pairing that I liked for my Animag Primal Terrors list, and this list intrigued me enough that I was like, all right, let's see if there's something here. I played it a few times, and it is very good in the matchup against Primal Terrors, and so I decided to bring it to WTC to sort of win the mirror match.
Yeah, sounds like a great plan, and definitely Lylyth1 is not something you're going to see across the table all that often. I'm sure, especially when lists were posted, there were a couple of questions heading your way. Obviously, the WTC happened in regards to the posting of this video, probably this weekend, so we'll see how we did.
Yes.
In terms of my list, I'm bringing my WTC list. I'm playing for Team New Zealand because they needed a merc this year, and I happened to be going for Zolo Masters already, so we said, hey, why not? Let's throw them on the team. So I'm bringing Xerxis2 in Imperial Warhost. He's got his free Kreia and a free Agonizer. I've got a Bronzeback, a Gladiator, and Tiberian as the rest of the battle group, with 2 Siege Turtles, a Bogtrog Mist Speaker, and double Min Beast Handlers. It's kind of your typical double Turtles list. It's a little different than the one I showed off earlier in the year, and the change is basically that I've swapped out an Archidon and a Sentry for Tiberian, and also gotten in that Bogtrog Mist Speaker. I have now got magic weapons in the list. Eyeless Sight is a great tool, and I feel like it's worth losing out on that 1 free Kreia in order to get Tiberian, because he is a monster in this list. The combination of Shield Guard and Hyper Aggressive is super enticing, catches a lot of people off guard, and it's a constant threat. It makes Tiberian go way farther than anyone really expects him to, or really than he deserves to, because he shouldn't be speed 6 in the first place, but getting an advance on his opponent's turn is also super sweet. So with all of that said, I think we're just about ready to head into the deployment. All right, so deployment. You actually won the role and chose to go second because of the side. I'll talk about my deployment a little bit, and then you can tell us why you chose your particular side. So what I do with Xerxes and my deployment with him typically is I'll face the turtles away from where the beast handlers are going to be. That way the beast handlers are always hitting on not double ones in order to get that 1 token onto him. And then I'll put 1 turtle on one side of Xerxes, and then typically I'll make a big ball of all my war beasts in the middle of the table. That way they can kind of spread out as they need to. With the amount of speed they have, it's fairly trivial to get them to cross one side or the other. And then I'll put another turtle on the opposite side because it's typically a good idea to balance out which side the turtles are going to. So in this particular matchup, there are 2 rather large clouds to the top side of the table, so that's where I'm going to position my Bogtrog, get some eyeless sight going through those clouds, and make it irrelevant, basically, for my line of sight and basically charging through that middle zone. So, Chris, why don't you talk about your deployment?
So typically I'll deploy with one unit of Raptors on either flank and my battle group and Lylyth in the middle. And then the solos like Kralix and Anissa, they kind of float. I'm very able to change those based on the table conditions. So you'll see I put a unit of Raptors up near the top of the board that I was hoping to put into that that's a bit of rubble in the zone the next turn and kind of be in relative safety from the turtle shooting. In the middle, I had my battle group hoping to kind of hide behind that cloud and take advantage of it, hoping basically Eye of Sight can't be everywhere. And then I had another unit of Raptors on the flank and Zuriel kind of coming in behind them just to give them some backup.
Nice. So the terrain on this table is an actual WTC set of terrain. So the large kind of white pieces of terrain, both in the top and the middle of the zone, are clouds. To the top right is a rubble piece. Then every other piece on the table is a piece of water, except for the one in the bottom right, which is also acid. There's a lot of water on the table, not a lot of obstructions or walls or cover or anything like that, with the exception of the rubble. So it's a fairly open table. So the fact that we're both fairly shooty lists, with me having the turtles and you having a billion bows, there's not a lot of places to hide, and that definitely influenced your side choice here, because that rubble is a big deal. So also, turns out Raptors threat very far. Not as far as turtles, but enough to make me, have to stay out of 21 inches of you on the first turn. So my turtles are going to stay fairly far back. The gist of it is I'm not going to bother whipping up the turtles this turn. It's or at least the top one, because I'm gonna stay out. Not gonna use the boosting or guns or anything this turn. I have the positioning on the top side to just leave them where they are, and in case Chris gets some attacks that I wasn't anticipating off, I can still heal up the extra damage I need. Tiberian, gonna go screaming down the middle again, staying out of 21 inches of any of the guns. Staying in shield guard range of the turtle in case, again, I messed anything up. And then dropping a Fury from being within 7 inches of Bronzeback. Bronzeback is also going to run up, get into this big puddle in the middle. My objective is Pathfinder, so I'm going to be able to clear through that just fine. Krea's going to go up, put up Force Aura, again, just in case I missed something or got in the way of any guns. And it's also good to get into the habit of doing these things, regardless of whether or not they're relevant, because muscle memory is important in this game. Xerxis is going to go up, get into that Krea aura, put up his upkeep spells. One's going to be Ignite on the turtle. One is going to be Rapport on Tiberian, just in case I want to do that hyper-aggressive move I was talking about earlier, and making sure he stays in control, because Rapport doubles your control area when measuring to that War Beast. Agonizer moves up, gives another Fury, making sure I have enough Fury for the turn. This unit of Beast Handlers is going to whip up the turtle, just so that I get some tokens, and I heal, and I'm fine, so full health, and ready to roll for the future turns. Bogdrag hides behind the Rhino. So tell us about your plan.
So this turn, Evan very intelligently stayed outside of the Raptor threat range. One of the reasons I went second is generally this list threats far enough that you can Parasite and get an open round of shooting on the bottom of one. Evan stayed outside of my range, so I was not able to do that. So I basically measured his threat ranges and tried to stay outside of charge range of the turtles. Lylyth moves up. She puts a Parasite onto the one turtle. Evan and I had talked earlier in the turn, just making sure he didn't have some way to dispel. Her getting a free Parasite out, because I can upkeep it for free with the Succubus, is a big deal. It means I get to have 2 things parasited in a turn instead of 1, which sort of doubles the output of my list. The Raptors are going to move up into the rubble. I think this is maybe Anissa moving up. Basically, I was trying to be very cautious and avoid giving free charges or having my models shot off the table, because the turtles will out-threat my Raptors. I threat 21, they threat 23 with their guns. So trying not to give away any pieces here, keeping Anissa nice and far back. I'm going to probably move the other unit of Raptors into the other zone to threat the left turtle or the bottom turtle. Big thing is the battle group. I want to try and hide behind this cloud and not give shooting charges. You can see I start moving Azrael up really aggressively, and I'm like, "What's the threat range on Tiberian with all of your buffs?" It's like, "Oh, never mind. I'm going to back up way over here."
Yeah, it turns out Tiberian is faster than he looks. 13 is a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the board being so open, there's not a lot of places for me to hide, and Azrael kind of dies to guns pretty well, so I was kind of worried about taking a lot of chip damage from that turtle, so I was trying to protect him. So you'll see I move this one unit of raptors over, and I'll end up blocking line of sight with 2 raptors in order to try and protect Azrael from the guns of the turtle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seems good, especially because I can feat and make them even more likely to put Azrael in the dirt.
Mm-hmm. You'll see here one of the mistakes I made. I trapped a raptor behind my line, so it had to kind of run all the way around all my support, but it was able to get where I wanted it to go anyway.
Thankfully, raptors are what, speed 9?
Speed 9.
Yeah.
So I had 18 inches to wrap around and then move the 8 or 10 that I needed to.
Plenty of room. Zuriel also staying out wisely.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so I moved up. This was actually a trample and a elusive for the dodge animus, just to sort of give a little extra potential to dodge out of the way or dodge into melee.
Yeah. Especially because if I miss you with the turtle guns a bunch of times, you can just dodge further or closer, increase your threat range a little bit as well.
Yeah. The bolt thrower moved up to position to get that turtle next turn when it comes into me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shepherds move up for future Fury issues since Lylyth's only Fury 5. And that's my turn.
All right. So I kind of hadn't anticipated Lylyth being able to, just get a witch mark out so far on the first turn. But she can walk 6, snipe herself from the bolt thrower, make her range 16.
She walks 7.
7? All right. It's an inch further. So, yeah, she can go far. And then witch mark actually ignores the range of Parasite because it automatically hits. Does it also just specify that?
It specifies regardless of range.
Well, there you go. So Parasite actually range 17? Yeah, sure, whatever. Range of her gun, 16.
Range 16, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It goes far. So Turtle, Parasite on turn 1. I figured, it was probably going to happen eventually, but whatever. They're just poisoned bows. How bad could it be? So I'm kind of considering what I can go into here. What do I need to do? And I noticed that the 2 raptors in front of Azrael actually are increasing the threat of Tiberian if I want them to, because Tiberian has the bond overtake with Xerxis. So if I really, really wanted to, I could go in with Rapport, which makes him at 8. My charge attack, because I charge for free with a Beast Handler, would have to go on the first raptor. Then I have to buy an attack on the second raptor because none of my shield or my tusks are going into these guys because they just don't have the range. I start whipping up the 1 turtle on the top just to get some rage tokens because, again, I figured I didn't need them on the first turn, so it worked out. I actually do extra damage to this turtle because of Parasite, so turns out I probably should have just done it on the first turn, but oh well. So, yeah. But as I was talking about with the Tiberian play, I can feat instead of Rapport, I would ignite him rather. So I'm needing 7s to hit the raptors, and I kill them if I hit them because I'm Pows 22. And then against Azrael, I'm dice +2. So on 3 hits, the math not including my feat gets me to do, I believe it's 27 damage. So my feat tips the scales and puts me over and probably means I kill Azrael. Which I feel like 2 raptors and an Azrael is worth Tiberian. Especially because of how hard he is going to be to kill and how much Chris is going to have to dedicate to removing Tiberian from basically Lylyth's face at that point. So the Bronzeback runs up, Gladiator runs up and rushes Tiberian. Kreia is going to move up and force Aura. And then we're just handing all the things to Tiberian. So we feeded with Xerxes. We eyeless sighted Tiberian so he can actually see that raptor. And he's ready to go. He's ready to roll. Gonna get on in there, kill some raptors, and hopefully kill Azrael.
I'm praying he misses raptors here.
Unfortunately, under Signs of Importance, 7s to hit. Hit the first one, auto dead. It's dice +7. overtake an inch, attack the second one, buying an attack, hits with an 11, crushes it again, and now we're into Azrael. We can get some real work in now. So let's see what we do. First attack, roll an 11, dice plus 2 is 13. It's a really good start. And I mean, Signs of Importance really helps because your rolls are just straight up better. So there's 9 damage from the second hit, 11 damage from the second hit. That was a hit roll. And then my last attack does 9 damage. We clean up Azrael in 3 hits, and then I overtake backwards. Make Chris come a little bit further forward if he wants to use melee attacks to take out Tiberian, which is good because I want that so that my turtles can be in threat range. Speaking of turtles, the big one on the bottom is gonna not go first apparently. Wow, just faked myself out there.
Psych.
Yeah, so I'm basically just deciding what to do with the turtles. The concept is basically with this first one, I am going to go with the bottom one. Shoot raptors, clear as many of those out as I can because it'll protect my turtle from dying. I get 4 shots, which is great. And I'm actually going to shoot Zuriel first because if I can do some significant damage to Zuriel, it might just be worth continuing to shoot him because it's only dice off 2. I missed my first shot. That basically scraps the whole Zuriel plan. He's going to dodge, but he'll still be in range. I just don't think it's worth putting damage into him anymore at this point. So I'm just going to shoot raptors. I do 3 points on the first one I shoot. Unfortunate roll, but whatever. Take some, you lose, whatever. Sayings. It happened. Dice happen. So I kill 1 raptor with the turtle. Less than ideal. But whatever. I'll take what I can get.
Tibbers killed 2
I
other
killed.
ones.
Yeah, Tibbers pulled his weight. I guess we can take the turtle not doing it. I measure range to Anissa. I'm out of range, so I don't take the shot, which is good because she has stealth and it would have missed.
I was hoping he would shoot her.
Yep. Kill the first raptor. Then I need 11s to hit the ones in the rubble. I just go for it because I don't really have any other targets. So I miss a bunch. So again, turtle kills 1 raptor.
It's important to note you were wanting to shoot the shepherd there, but your arc, when you trampled, was just out of line of sight, so you had to shoot the raptors.
Yeah, and it still missed. And with that, we're more or less done. I think I haven't actually moved the Cray yet, but it's going to walk up and do Force Aura. And then that's going to be the gist of my turn. So, Chris, what's your plan for your next turn?
So, losing Azrael's a big blow. Theoretically, I should get to go in and get his 2 shots before I take a charge. So losing him for basically nothing, he just ran up and died, plus losing 2 raptors, that's a big deal. So I'm kind of on the back foot here, and I need to get a lot of work done. Thankfully, I do have that parasite already on the board, and I'm going to get to upkeep that for free with the succubus. So I'm hoping to sort of collapse that one flank with the turtle using my raptors, and then feat with Lylyth, switch parasite, and kill Tiberian.
Sorry, I forgot about the Agonizer in this list. I actually think what I did here with the Agonizer was a bit of a mistake. I decided to hide him behind the cloud as opposed to just running him forward into it, where he would actually be affecting Tiberian if Zuriel decides to go into him. The cloud's more or less irrelevant in this matchup because the bolt thrower and Lylyth can just decide, well, I want to kill that Agonizer now, and do it. So I might as well have just ran forward and even said no spells to, determine which the order of activations that Lylyth has to go in, so she can't, just decide, okay, I'm going to go first and, parasite a thing. Yeah, she'll have to commit to killing the Agonizer first, or the bolt thrower will have to commit to going first and killing the Agonizer. And maybe it messes with some positioning or whatnot, but I feel like that would have been the better play there.
So you'll see I move Anissa up on the flank and start her off. She went first specifically because I wanted to get her into leadership range of the raptors when they go afterwards. So she does some chip damage on the turtle and then repositions out of the way. And then the raptors are going to go in. So it's important to note here, and they're not shooting. A surprise some of the viewers on the table. Mm-hmm. So they're charging and making impact attacks, and then the next one's charging and doing its impact attack, and so on. It means that with Parasite, they have effectively POW 15 mounts and then POW 13 Weapon Master charges. which is better than just POW 13 poison bows.
Yeah, as it turns out. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, they are weapon masters and they can charge, and this is much worse than I thought it was.
Yeah, some of the bystanders were like, well, you should kill him with all the shooting. And when I charged in, they're like, oh, yep, you definitely kill that model.
Yep, yeah, it's super dead. So as you might expect, after all of these dice are rolled, the turtle's not on the table anymore.
So the Raptors are going to reposition out of the way, try and hide behind that cloud a little bit, and control that zone. So that's going to be a CP for me this turn. Probably going to go with the Ice Switches next and Puppet Master, although I was forgetting that for the first half of just about every turn. So nope, Lylyth's going to go. She's going to feat. And then it's just trying to figure out how I'm going to position to worry about hyper-aggressive.
Yes. Yeah, because of Imperial Warhost's theme benefit, all of my war beasts have hyper aggressive, actually including the Agonizer, which is pretty sweet.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I never thought of that.
Yeah. A lot of people will be like, I shoot the Agonizer, and I'll be like, great, hyper aggressive into the model you already engaged or activated.
So Lylyth moves up. She puts her first shot with Witchfire, casts her Parasite, takes her second shot into him. Does a little bit of damage, not a lot. Mm-hmm. Just enough to trigger hyper aggressive.
Yep. Yeah. I go
debating the boost.
A little
I
bit
do it.
forward.
Hyper aggressive.
Yay.
So Tiberian's going to come up and engage that Spell Martyr, which is relevant for the rest of my shooting because now he has plus four defense.
At first I measured, to see if he was in my control, to see if it even mattered if I went forward. He was far out, so he just gets to go forward.
So that Spell Martyr is going to take a very big free strike and going in a way that he doesn't get slammed into other models.
Mm-hmm, yeah, anywhere but the way that would kill other stuff.
Yeah.
Note, the reason Tiberian could force last turn is because my feat says that my control area is table, so it wouldn't have been relevant the previous turn. Person who is typing that comment right now.
There's always that, right?
But yes, continue.
So Lylyth, when she took her second shot, she also she has 3 different shot types: Inflict Pain, Witch Mark, and Blood Lure. So the second shot was a Blood Lure shot, which means that Zuriel will be able to charge for free when he charges Tiberian. Basically, I'm just trying to get rid of the bolt throw is moving up on the feet, and I'm going to try and take out the Agonizer so that Zuriel can go into Tiberian and not have minus strength. Yep.
This was the point I realized that your feat is additional die to hit,
yes.
Not boosted.
So I rolled 4 dice and got 3 4s, so that was a big old crit and pushed you back and knocked you down, which is relevant for damage. I don't quite kill you with the one shot, but I don't use the Puppet Master that I have. Figured I did enough and the Raptors could finish you off.
Yep, leaves the Agonizer on 4 boxes. So
this unit of Raptors is going to move up on the bottom, trying to stay in Lylyth's feet to get some additional die, just in case I roll those snake eyes. And then I will take try and finish off that Agonizer. You'll see this one. I debate going wide and then repo into the turtle, and then I remember they have pokey sticks that get to go before he activates.
Yeah, so engaging the turtle is maybe not
I was like, I'll go here and block him from charging. Oh wait, that doesn't matter. So we'll just go into the acid bath, take some corrosion, try and finish off that Agonizer, and we do, and then we'll reposition.
Yep. Not too worried about the corrosion there, as they are 5 wound or 5 box cavalry models. And then it's
Kralix, I want to say. I think this is Kralix shooting.
Yeah.
Kralix trying to chip away at Tiberian. Mm-hmm. Rolls garbage. Rolls better. And then he used his Puppet Master as well. Does 10 damage or so?
Yeah, he does pretty good damage.
Yeah, enough that Zuriel should be able to finish him off. So Zuriel's going to get a free assault. Mm-hmm. Hits with 666.
Yep.
I got this. POW 12 does no damage. And then Tim and I actually discussed this. So I did single attacks here. Probably I should have combo struck. But I did my single attacks.
So what does combo bring you up to?
So it would have been POW 21 base, so POW 24 including Parasite.
All right, dice plus 3 as opposed to dice minus 2 twice.
Yep.
So the dice plus 3 it's a charge, so like 13 and a half, and then the 2 dice minus 2s do minus 2 is 8, and then 13 in it.
It's about the same.
It's about the same.
It's about the same. It's just you get to, so it's one roll that you're re-rolling with Puppet Masters, so like potentially saving yourself bad dice. You also get to, because Zuriel chooses column, you can kind of pick off a particular column and dig deeper into the next column.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, doing 2 attacks is better with him, but in this case, it might actually have been better to combo.
Yeah.
Regardless, he died.
Yeah, he's clearly not on the table anymore, so it worked out.
So I run a Shepherd up to block the charge from a potential charge from the Gladiator getting to Zuriel, so at least he has to either trample or find some way to kill that Shepherd.
Yeah.
Just trying to burn attacks. And...
So the beginning of my turn here is a little bit rough. I went super deep in Fury last turn. And I'm thinking to myself, really, okay, I can leave the Gladiator on one and the Crayon one. Make threshold tests for both of them. They're threshold 9 on the Gladiator, so I need to roll an 8, and then threshold, I think, also 9, maybe 8 on the Crayon. But either way, it's pretty likely that they don't frenzy. Instead, both of them frenzy, and it's a bad time. Because I could have taken one off the Gladiator and one off the Bronzeback, but I really didn't want the Kreia to frenzy this turn because I wanted to go up and be able to paralyze shot with the Kreia onto Zuriel and then make it just a guaranteed dead Zuriel. Or sorry, what I actually want to do was paralyze shot the Raptor in front of Zuriel so that I could impact attack it with the Siege Turtle and then get a charge with the turtle onto Zuriel, and that way I wouldn't have to commit the Bronzeback. Now I have to commit the Bronzeback this turn, which means I'm going to lose probably a whole nother, effectively a heavy, as opposed to the turtle, which can likely survive the things there, because I'll have both the Bronzeback and the turtle in the face, but with the turtle doing what it is now, it's nowhere near as much of a threat to Chris's pieces. So he doesn't have to focus it nearly as much.
Yeah, I was able to ignore that turtle for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So with the attacks it has, it's going to... it's only going to get 2 shots on the gun, but it'll kill the one raptor on the charge, and then make some other attacks. I'm deciding what target to shoot at this point. I don't know if I want to shoot Zuriel or if I want to shoot just random solos. I'm thinking if I kill the Shepherd in the zone, which I have 2 cracks at an 8 for, I can run my entire unit of Beast Handlers in, and score it. I miss both shots, and then I just tail attack, kill the Raptor, and then I repo to the side. I always like going really wide with the repos for the turtles, as it makes people have to split their forces pretty hard, which when I have so few models is actually super useful, because it lets me pick off, the ones that they're sending to the sides, and then in the middle, once it's the late game, Xerxis is actually really good at doing personal work, charging forward, killing a model, and then sprinting back because he has sprints, so he gets effectively a 7-inch reposition. Here, I debate for a very long time what I want to do with Xerxis and this Bronzeback. I don't have the Gladiator or the Kreia to help clear things up because they both frenzied. And it's weird because now I have no models on the top side of this table anymore. Basically, killing that turtle, which I didn't anticipate to die so easily, means that this entire top flank for me has been collapsed. So what I can do with Xerxis, or what I think about doing, is I can charge into the zone with him, kill a raptor, hopefully, and then somehow stranglehold the Shepherd. There's no possible way I can get the facing for that, and there's no possible way I can charge Xerxes in such a way that he gets 2 raptors, so none of that is worth it, and I ditch the plan very quickly. And then I think, well, what if I just walk into the cloud and stranglehold the Shepherd? And if I do that, Xerxes is just dead, basically, just flailing in the wind, nothing to protect him. So instead I decide, well, Bogtrog's going to go not bother giving Isle of Sight to anything, because it doesn't matter, because Xerxes, if he gives the Isle of Sight to Xerxes, then strangleholding the Shepherd doesn't matter, because the Bronzeback can't charge through the cloud anyway. And if I give the Bronzeback Isle of Sight, the Bronzeback can't charge through the cloud anyway, because there's a Shepherd in the way.
Go Shepherd!
Yeah, we just decide, well, this Bogtrog's going to move a bit and get out of the way. Xerxes is going to rapport the Bronzeback and retreat. He's going to move back, make it so that he's not a very tempting target for the Raptors. and we're going to enrage this Bronzeback and just trample it into Zuriel and hope we can do some work. I'm thinking it's dice even. He's Fury 5. He gets 4 attacks. He's going to be Mat 8 at the time. We're going to be fairly close, if not on the ball, for killing Zuriel here. And healing is a crazy good benefit from this theme. If you haven't played Children of the Dragon, I highly recommend giving it a shot. Because it makes these Nephilim super hard to kill. So, Beast Handlers have to contest the zone. I figured if I just hold one back, or any of them back, they'll die anyway, because Raptors have really long-range bows, and then can just repo back into the zone. So I figured I'll run to engage a couple. And then they'll have to make melee attacks.
Yeah, Raptors don't love being engaged.
So Bronzeback absolutely murders the Shepherd on the trample, and then just starts punching Zuriel. It's dice even. We got 4 attacks. We do, on average, 28 damage. How many boxes does Zuriel have?
I want to say 30, but I could be wrong.
All right, around there. We don't have to roll too high above average.
Yeah.
We get him.
Mat 8 was a big deal, like, because Zuriel's def 13. Like, if you'd been Mat 6, like...
He's Mat 7 base.
He's Mat 7 base?
Yeah.
But, like, even then, like, needing 6s, like, if you miss once, I dodge away, like...
Yeah. Yeah, because you have elusive.
I had elusive up as well. So, like,
that
if you would
one.
miss... So, like, having Mat 8 and just needing those 5s was a big deal, so...
Yeah.
Because you only have 1-inch melee, right?
Only 1 inch?
Yeah, one miss, and I'm out of range, so...
Yeah, it would have been worst if it was on the 3rd attack, too, because then I can't even... Like, I only get 1 attack on the objective, and then I don't... Because on 2 attacks, I'm at dice +1, so I probably kill it.
Yep.
But 1 attack is not good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Bronzeback
I think you killed him to
Zuriel.
the box as well.
Yeah, it was close.
It was really close.
So that's my turn. What's your plan?
So I'm in a rough place. I've lost an entire unit of Raptors on the bottom. I've lost both of my heavies. I'm basically like, can I push out a scenario victory here? I'm up by a CP, and he hasn't actually scored because that Shepherd didn't die. Can I close this out? And so I'm thinking, can I kill his objective and clear that zone? And I realized just because I don't have a heavy anymore, I just don't have the oomph to both kill the objective, clear the zone, and kill that Bronzeback that's in my face. So I basically just decide, let's just kill the Bronzeback. Let's kill the other unit of Paingivers with my Raptors, and then just kind of wait another turn and just score the 1 CP. So Lylyth is going to get Puppet Mastered along with the Raptors, and I believe Kralix, I want to say. No, Anissa. Anissa got Puppet Mastered. She's going to do her usual Witch Mark and Parasite on the Bronzeback. I just had to worry about hyper-aggressive being a thing. I didn't really want Bronzeback in melee with Lylyth.
Seems fair, I guess.
So you'll see I move over to the other side of my objective so that at least if he comes towards me, he's bumping into the objective and can't get at Lylyth.
You also have to pay attention to countercharge from the Bronzeback.
Yes.
That's a problem for you.
Yes, that was the other thing. And this game, I probably asked about countercharge 4 times a turn, 5 times a turn.
Every War Beast.
Like every War Beast, I was like, does the turtle have countercharge? Like, does this Bog Trog, does it have countercharge?
It's the I've played against too much Zdesh syndrome.
You like get countercharge once and you're just like, never again. So Lylyth moves up. She does her Parasite. For her second shot, she's going to try and inflict pain because I thought you had 3 Fury on you, not 4.
Nope, I was full. Yep.
So I'm like, I'm going to inflict pain with my second shot. You're like, I can't add Fury.
I spent all 5 to kill Zuriel.
Yeah.
He's full.
So she does not a huge amount of damage. I think she did a little bit. What, to the 5? She did like 4 damage. Oh, that was the Bolt Thrower.
Oh.
So the Bolt Thrower, that's right. The Bolt Thrower went after Lylyth and got the crit knockdown, which stopped hyper aggressive and countercharge being an issue.
Yep.
Which was very big. I was hoping for the crit there. I didn't think I would actually get it.
Yeah, just get rid of both those problems in one fell swoop.
I was a little worried if I didn't knock you down that I might, like, by pushing you back, make it like more difficult to block with the objective. I was a little worried, like, if I rolled a 3, you might be able to like skirt around the objective. Like, I know you travel in a straight line, but I was like, this could be an issue. Thankfully, the dice were helpful and gave me good things. Anissa came over, finished it off, and then I got to switch my prey for the 2nd or 3rd time this game.
Yeah, so you went from the turtle to Tiberius. No. Turtle to Bronzeback. Now the Bronzeback to the
Gladiator. Yes, Gladiator.
And you didn't even need to use any of your unit of raptors, so they can just clean up this unit of beast handlers fairly easily.
Yeah, Anissa repoed back into the rubble and towing the zone into a position where she could give her leadership ability, so the +1 to hit, to most of those raptors. Basically, I try and so I put one in the middle of two, hoping I could get a mount attack on one and a sword on the other, so the second one could then shoot the unengaged Paingiver at the back of the zone. So I had two potential shots on the far one, assuming my one raptor hit both his attacks, and he did, which meant that I had two shots potentially to kill the back Paingiver. So I was able to clear that zone, repo back to safety, and I'm going to score another CP this turn. Just sort of playing the long game, hoping to make up for the fact that I've lost all my heavies. So it's important not to die this turn. I don't need Fury management, so my shepherds are just kind of positioning themselves in the way.
Mm-hmm. I know that feeling with beast handlers. It's like, all right, late game, you contest things, go.
And so then Kralix was the last thing to activate, and he's just going to do a couple of chip points to the far turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Basically in a position so that he can contest that zone next turn, because I'm assuming that Shepherd is going to die.
Yes.
Shepherd versus Turtle, it's not an even match.
No. The 1 point solo versus the battle engine.
We cloud Lylyth so she doesn't die.
Yeah.
And that's my turn.
All right, so you've scored 2 points at this point in the game, and I'm on 0. So I want to start scoring some points. Thankfully, it's probably going to be open for me to actually do that this turn, because I can kill your objective fairly easily. The turtle is in charge range of it. And then I can kill that shepherd with, I'm sure, something, I hope. So, looking at the table, there's some things I want to do. I definitely want to kill that objective, as prior stated. But I actually debate hard about which war beast I want to give Pathfinder to. Because I'm thinking, okay, if I give Pathfinder to the Kreia, is he in range to just paralyze something? He's about half an inch out of paralyzing Lylyth. Okay, so I can just rush him. Well, then he doesn't need the Pathfinder from the objective, so I can give it to the Gladiator. But if I do that, what's contesting the zone? The top zone, that is. Can the Kreia still get there and do those things? So eventually I figured out Gladiator gets the Pathfinder, because I'm going to just rush the Kreia and walk it into the zone to contest, and then also throw a paralyzed shot at Lylyth, because chances are I'm not going to hit it. But if I do, I get D3 plus 1 shots that basically automatically hit, and they're dice minus 1. So if I get more than 2, that one transfer that you actually can't. Oh yeah, you have bolt thrower. You can transfer the bolt thrower, but that one transfer is gonna really hurt the bolt thrower for one, and probably not let you survive if I get lucky and roll a 4.
Yep.
So I decide, sure, we'll rush it. We'll go. The only thing it has crippled, because the Gladiator punched it when it frenzied, is the body. I also look at Anissa and see if I can paralyze her. If I don't rush, I cannot. If I don't rush. So I still decide, all right, we're going to go try to paralyze Lylyth. So first, Xerxis is going to take care of that shepherd after the bog trog moves out of the way. He has nothing to guidance, so he's just going to basically spin on the spot. And be out of the way of Xerxis trampling forward and then casting a stranglehold at the shepherd.
I'm really hoping this misses.
That's fair. I mean,
if you don't kill it with this strangleholds, I don't know how you do kill the shepherd.
I have to use the turtle, which I don't want. Because
then you can't kill the objective. Like I feel like if you miss this, it's real bad.
Exactly. So thankfully we hit it.
Spoiler alert.
It's dead now. The rushed Kreia can get into the zone.
If there was audio here, you'd hear me going on a rant about how much I hate the paralyze rule.
Yep.
I basically spent like 2 minutes while he's planning out his turn raging about this rule. I hate paralyze.
Paralyze is a dumb rule. Shouldn't exist in the game.
Badly designed.
Doesn't do anything except just...
It punishes you for being living.
Punishes, yes.
I hate the fact that it punishes you for being living.
Yeah, that was.
Why is living a bad thing in this game?
The unfortunate downside of being alive. I miss it by 1. I needed a 12 to hit. I rolled an 11. There.
I breathe a sigh of relief.
Lylyth doesn't randomly die to a crayon and a turtle.
I mean, it's boosted 12. It's not super likely, but it's also likely. Not impossible.
Correct. And then the turtle charges the objective. Dice even on the charge. I do 12. Then the spears do nothing because they're garbage until they randomly win you games because you can then clear out before you charge. But that's a different story entirely. Dials up the gun. Gets 3 shots, I believe. Rolls the 9 to kill Kralix.
Which I was not happy about.
Yeah. The entirety of this turn was, all right, Xerxis is going to rush the Kreia, boost a Stranglehold at that, and then die to Kralix. And then the turtle will go Kralix, so it's not a problem anymore.
Remember I was saying Kralix's plan was to contest that zone next turn?
Yep.
Contesting that zone is going to be a problem now.
Can't contest when you're a corpse.
Yep.
Turtle basically repos to engage the succubus because he can't repo to engage anything else as much as I was so close to engaging that bolt thrower. I was like a quarter of an inch out.
I was quite happy that he was not engaged.
Yeah. Gladiator moves in to kill whatever comes into the zone next turn and riles for a couple because Xerxes will need some fury next turn. And that's where we're at. We score 3 this turn because we score for a unit in the bottom zone, killing the objective, and having a war beast or a battle engine, take your pick, in the middle zone. I'll call it the turtle because he did more work. He killed Kralix. He deserves it. So it's 3-2 suddenly.
And the Kreia did contest the top zone.
Correct.
So it's 3-2. I'm starting my turn now?
Yeah.
Yes, so starting my turn. I need to kill that Kreia. And I want to continue scoring, but I have a turtle in my face, so I need to kill it as well. So this turn is a little bit of thinking, trying to plan out my turn. I've got a bit of an issue in that I don't have a lot of models left to contest that bottom zone. And so as I'm doing my turn, unless I kill that turtle, I'd have no models that can get over there. The succubus could potentially run and tow the zone, but that means killing the turtle first.
It does.
So the ice switches kind of do a little bit of positioning here to try and set up to contest the middle zone. So there's one ice switch goes in the middle, one and the other 2 just move up to be contesting pieces next turn because I have a feeling I'm going to have the run to contest zones. They Puppet Master Anissa, the Bolt Thrower, and Lylyth. So I believe Lylyth is going to go next. And she's going to parasite something.
Do the parasite thing. That's her entire job.
Yep. So she's going to retreat to the rubble. She's going to parasite the derp turtle, praying that I don't roll really badly here. Even a 4 does it. Parasite.
Def 10.
Take my second shot. I'll boost damage. And I roll pretty good.
It does a couple points.
Yeah.
Like...
Not a bad start. Not a bad start.
Like 9.
So she still has Puppet Master because she hasn't had to use it in case she randomly gets a free strike next turn.
Yeah. Yep.
Important to note, it lasts the round.
Mm-hmm.
Bolt Thrower, he moves up, takes his shot.
Real good on countercharge pieces.
Does a bunch of damage, and he's towing the zone as a contesting piece. He didn't want to get up there, but I felt I needed to have something to force that Gladiator, is it? Mm-hmm. Gladiator to commit, because if I don't have that there, he's just going to sit behind that cloud and be more or less safe. I believe this is Anissa. Yeah, Anissa takes her shots into the turtle, leaves them on a few boxes, about 8 or so, 8 or 9. So then the Raptors are going to move up, and they're trying to position to be able to repo back into that zone, stay in the leadership range of Anissa, but also have a shot on the Kreia with any extras that I don't need after killing the turtle. There was a lot they needed to do.
Yeah.
So
Raptors do work.
Yeah. We get... I think it took 3 Raptors to finish off the turtle.
Yeah. After the amount of damage it took from the Bolt Thrower and Lylyth, it was hurting.
So then I shoot the Kreia with... sorry, it took 2 to finish it off.
Yeah.
So the 2 remaining Raptors shoot the Kreia, finish it off, and then I'm going to repo back to safety.
Yeah. The combination of just, like, kill whatever's contesting, repo way out of my threat, has... kind of been the problem for me this entire game. It's just nothing I have is fast enough to get into engagement range with the Raptors, and nothing I have is durable to survive the parasite weapon master guns or charges. So those raptors in the top zone are basically invincible unless I want to go and be like, stranglehold with Xerxis.
Well, it's also all your stuff is living. Here I am like complaining about things that turn on against living, and I have 9 million poison shots. So
Yeah. You have effectively 3 units of raptors with weapon master guns against living.
Mm-hmm. I don't have it anymore. I have a unit and a half because Anissa's still on the board.
Yeah. The third unit of raptors being the combination of Kralix and Anissa for those at home that don't get the joke. Because Kralix has 3 poison shots and Anissa has 2.
I was very upset Kralix didn't get to use Blight Spasm for the first time ever on those Pain Givers.
Yeah. They were bunched up pretty good.
I was going to get a couple.
It would have been, yeah.
I've never found a use for that shot yet, so...
Pain Givers, all charge at the Succubus, all miss. Basically just making it so that Xerxis can go in and kill it and then sprint away because he needs something to kill.
I forgot you had sprint, so when you moved up, I actually was wondering what you were doing. I was like, weird positioning, and then you're like, sprint. I was like, oh, now I get
it. Yeah, he doesn't have repo, unlike most cavalry models, but he does have sprint, which is neat for a battle engine.
I just remember him used to have to take an Arcadon and use that Animus, and he got a free Animus. Like, I'm used to the old, Mark II version, or early Mark III, whatever it was.
Yeah, in Mark II, he had a bond, and he could cast the Animus of his bonded Warbeast for free, I believe is what it was. And that Warbeast could go double away? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So, yeah, just in my head, I was like, he doesn't have an Arcadon, so he doesn't have sprint. Like, that was just literally how I was playing the game.
And then he goes away.
It's like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
So yeah, Xerxes goes, deals with that, also throws Rapport on the Gladiator before he charges in, because the Gladiator is going to be more than 10 inches away, and would like the extra mat to go into the Bolt Thrower.
You got a lot of work out of Rapport this game.
I did, yes. It kept me super safe from the guns, which is about all it needed to do, although the extra mat against Def 13 models, being mat 8, really helped too.
Like, I've played a little bit of Ryas1 with Rapport, and like I just have never found as many uses for it as you did this game. Like, I think you used it really well.
Yeah. It helps when you get the reps in, obviously. I mean, I'm sure you've played a ton of Ryas1 at some point in your in your Legion career. Perhaps before...
She's actually one of the ones... She's probably my least used of the casters in Legion. Lylyth1 used to be.
Oh, fair enough. So Gladiator goes in, barely kills the Bolt Thrower and the Ice Witch? Ice Witch.
Yes, it was the Ice Witch leader that was in the zone as well.
Yeah, so kills those 2 things, which means I'm scoring another point this turn, and I score the bottom zone. So I go up 2... and Chris goes up by 1. So At this point, my strategy is basically just run the clock out and hopefully be ahead at the end of the game, because I'm bleeding pieces super hard and just kind of need to get the turns rolling and get to the end of the game.
You're trying to win, by 1 on the 7th turn kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So this turn, you'll see I move a Shepherd up just to contest that zone and be in position to potentially run and contest the circle the next turn. It was also kind of just in the way. I didn't want to trigger countercharge on a Gladiator that doesn't have countercharge, but in my head, every model has countercharge. So basically, it's deciding where Lylyth needs to stand in order to do her Parasite goodness. He has Hyper Aggressive, which is a bit of a challenge. So I'm actually going to move the Ice Switches up into melee with it, which is so weird to give something the engagement bonus. But basically, I just didn't want to have Hyper Aggressive be an issue and him to engage Lylyth. So I put an Ice Switch right in melee, right in line to block any hyper-aggressive moves. And then I just sit, aim, and boost to hit, end the combat. So Lylyth's going to shoot her Witchfire shot. She boosts to hit after getting Puppet Mastered. She's going to basically go empty this turn, just trying to chip damage in, because I'm running out of pieces, and I'm hoping that sitting in cover, she should be okay against any assassination you can mount right now. Mm-hmm. So she's going to take both her shots. Her second shot, I believe she does, and I think you were already full, so I tried to inflict pain again, and you were full.
Yep.
That seemed to be a theme this game. So she does her 2 shots, does a decent amount of damage. She rolled pretty well.
Yeah. This time we had an excuse. He had a different colored Fury token on him in
Yep.
addition to the other ones. It's like, oh yeah, I guess.
So then
that's fair.
Anissa, I believe, goes next. She aims, shoots into combat. In my head, I thought I needed 5s. I was remembering Prey the damage bonus. I wasn't remembering it to hit. So she aims from 7 to a 9 and then Prey for rat 11.
Yep.
So she needs threes against that gladiator in combat.
Yep. Elephants aren't hard to hit.
So she moves actually out of the cover so that she could potentially run to contest that bottom circle again next turn. I'm aware that Evan's out right now is to sort of win by 1 CP at the end, so I'm trying to make it as hard as possible to stay ahead on CPs. I've got that zone at the top pretty firmly, and so he needs to keep putting things in there, so I'm hoping to just sort of take one thing every turn.
Yep. That's kind of the move.
And so then this is a turn where I charge the raptors in. Again, I'm getting more output from them than I would from guns. I'm not having to shoot into melee now. I'm just going into melee. So I'm going to be mat 7 because of leadership from Anissa. So I'm getting 2 dice to hit for the mount, then 3 dice for the Weapon Master swords. I think I even forgot to roll Weapon Master. I think I was only rolling 3 dice.
Really?
I think
wow.
I remembered after the game. I was like, I'm pretty sure I only rolled 3 dice here. I remembered I rolled right on the turtle, but I was like, yep, I should have had 1 more damage die on all of those attacks. Yeah. So it was real dead.
All right. So that's the end of your turn. You score another point. I score 1 in the bottom zone.
Yep.
So this is a weird for me now, because the only thing I have that can really do work is Xerxis. So he's going to charge in, kill a shepherd. Actually, my first plan here is the Bogtrog can charge that shepherd. And then I realize it's the same to hit if I influence the raptor behind the shepherd and make a gunshot with the raptor. I hit the 9, and I ask what the defense on both of them are. Dub 1s against the back arc of the shepherd.
I was so happy for you, and then when you missed, I was like, all right, I will accept this. My raptor doesn't want a friendly fire.
Proxy turtle for the charge. Xerxes goes in, charge attack, hits, kills.
Very much cadet.
Boosted stranglehold onto the mistress. 17 will hit, and power 11 will kill. And I decide, well, I have no beasts to transfer. I'm just going to roll to hit Stranglehold, roll a 9 to hit, and then again, dub 1s for damage, so we don't even get to kill an extra raptor. I sprint so that I'm towing both zones, so that I score the middle zone. The beast handlers don't really have much to do. I probably should have run them in front of Xerxes in order to block just a little bit, because Xerxes can score both zones on his own. But I was running low on my clock. I think I'm at about 7 minutes at this point. So I decided just flip the turn. Again, more in my head, I'm like, well, if I survive this assassination, I can maybe hopefully win on bottom of 7.
You probably counter assassinate if I go for it and fail.
Yeah.
I feel like you just kill. The problem is I don't have a bolt thrower anymore, so I have to come within 12 to get at you. And if I don't kill the misspeaker, you just see me through the cloud, and then you just kill me. So...
12 is exactly Xerxes' threat.
Yeah,
so.
and I was like, the bolt thrower's dead. This is not good. So Lylyth decides to go for it. So I move up my 1 remaining ice witch, contest the zone, puppet master Lylyth, and then she moves up and she's going to try and I puppet master the raptors, I think, because Lylyth was too far away. And she kind of goes ham. She's all in. Can I kill Xerxes? So she boosts to hit a witchfire. She decides, does she boost damage on this one or the next one? I decided to boost on this one because she's only rat 7 and you're def 13.
Yep.
So you need a 6, and I wasn't sure I'd roll the 6. I was like, So I was like, I already have this hit. I might as well boost damage here, and if I happen to hit the next one, I'll just roll it. Normally, unboosted. I missed the second shot, so it was definitely the right call to boost on the first one.
You know what?
Hindsight 2020.
There you go.
So the Raptors, they're going to move up and they're going to start shooting. So we're talking about it, and I had one aim because I was hoping to kill the Misspeaker switch Anissa's prey, and then she would be able to go with prey against Xerxis. And Evan kindly reminded me before I took my shot that he has prowl in concealment.
Yeah, because he's got amphibious, so he gets concealment when he's in the water, which means he gets prowl.
And I sure forgot about that aspect. Like, I absolutely would have remembered if he was in a cloud, but him being in the water, I just didn't click.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually phrased it as a question because I wasn't sure if that's exactly how it worked, but
Yep.
it is. So
It is. It is absolutely how it works. I guess it makes sense. He's hiding underneath the water.
Yeah.
Like,
Raptors do a crap ton of damage with bows. I don't tough, and Xerxes dies.
yes. So I still had Anissa to go potentially if I failed that.
Yeah.
So she would have had 2 more boosted POW 10 effective 13s.
Yeah. Plenty of room to work with. I would have had to make like 4 tough checks in a row. So not like.
Oh, yeah, I guess you can't be knocked down because you're
I
a huge
can't
base.
be knocked down because
Yep.
I'm a huge base.
Failed the first one, so it didn't even come up.
So that's what we've got for you this week, guys. We hope you really enjoyed the video. If you have any questions for us or Chris, leave them in the comments section below. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media. We have Facebook. That's where you'll find all of our videos first. And thank you very much for supporting us on Patreon. If you want to check that out, it's in the description below. You'll get all of our videos a week early for $1 per video. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, guys.